Everyone. Every year or so, someone massive that people have no idea it has like some kind of like underground sex trafficking ring gets uncovered for it. Where they either collapse quietly, having a bunch of court cases trying to prove themselves innocent, or they have one huge stint from like the police just raiding the places, finding a bunch of evidence where it destroys any wiggle room to try to make themselves seem innocent in a court case. And already so far, on the end of March, creeping up on April, that first person for the year of 2024 is P. Diddy. Because a bunch of police just raided his homes, both in LA and Miami, trying to recover a sex trafficking ring that someone had notified them on. And I want to mention now, it's specifically the Department of Homeland Security, so that's already way worse because people have mentioned that they mainly tackle these kinds of issues like sex trafficking and just pedophiles in general. So that in of itself is already like a huge red flag for what they're expecting and what they could probably find to arrest them on, which they haven't just yet because despite raiding both his mansions at the same time, they haven't found him yet. All they did was just find his sons and detain them, trying to figure out where he was. And from what I've seen, he was the last known to be at the Caribbean islands, so completely miles apart from his actual homes and where the police were expecting him to find him at. Which, by the way, I want to mention now, he flew there with his own private jet called the Love Jet, which in any other context would just sound dumb, but this story specifically makes it way worse of a name. But that got me thinking about how much harder that's gonna make the case being, because if he's staying there while also being restrained from going anywhere else, I want to see how much harder it'll be to extradite him to actually get back to the US and charge him for the cases. Well, I'm not sure if it was by pure coincidence that he happened to fly out of the US exactly when the raid happened, or he had some knowledge that the raid would be happening and he wanted to like at least get some extra time by fleeing the US. But still, that timeline is insane to me, being in a country exactly when the raid happened. I guess it's slightly better that he wasn't completely like really far away from the US, still being Caribbean islands. Maybe if he had 100% knowledge that this would be happening, fly somewhere else like to Europe, trying to get as far away as possible. But if he's been restricted to only the Caribbean islands, then that definitely means that it's only a matter of time until like the Homeland Security get to him and fully arrest him. So within a week, there'll definitely be more news about this case. But the main part that stuck out to me while trying to look up the story, especially on Twitter, was just seeing like how many people put up clips of friends of P. Diddy that slightly hinted at what was going on, like trying to get the idea as much light as possible while still like not just completely exposing it. Which the closest thing that reminds me to is like people talk about Kevin Spacey being like, okay, don't go to our house at this party because it won't end good. Like just very obvious signs that they know what's going on, but at the same time it's like such a small breadcrumb of knowledge that it only takes like a case like this where the police raid his house for people to finally realize, oh, so that's what they meant in this clip that was very blatant and in your face. And on the other hand, it is scary because that just means that whenever you see a clip like this or similar where people are very pushing out this idea in very subtle signs, it just makes it more credible because it'll take like one huge arrest to finally prove that what they were saying in a very subtle way was actually true. So I definitely believe that there are clips right now with some like other celebrity that has like a good image, but all their friends are like dropping small breadcrumbs of knowledge of what they know is going on behind the scenes. But of course, with like how close they are and how little evidence they have, they just can't outright expose what they're doing. But that's basically the gist of what I wanted to talk about because again, this news is very fresh and within a week there'll be way more stuff coming out about him. And it was just insane to me the huge blow this news had, with people calling him the equivalent of Jeffrey Epstein, which if that's the first description within like 24 hours of the news happening, then that's gonna foreshadow how worse it's gonna get when more information comes out. So this could be one of the worst like sex trafficking stories ever about a celebrity when more information comes out and his friends choose to speak out about him, which could definitely be a scenario when you have clips of his own friends talk about like how like the kind of stuff that goes on secretly at his own home being weird. But I will admit, this raid and news gave birth to a pretty good name of him already, just P. Diddler, which just fits so good in general. I like that name in general, I'm not gonna lie.